God, it's the worst. But we have gotten through all of the press conferences except Nintendo, which isn't really a press conference. I don't know what's going on. The internet has destroyed everything.
Yes, no, it's not a press conference. It's just a live stream. A live stream for the Treehouse where they'll talk about Zelda.
But that's in about 40 minutes, so we're just going to try and get through all of the other press conference recaps before then.
Yes.
So we'll start with Microsoft, which undoubtedly the biggest news was Project Scorpio.
Is real.
It's real, yep. And they're claiming that it's going to be the most powerful console ever made. And everybody took that as kind of Microsoft conceding this round to Sony. What's your take on that?
I was actually surprised that I did our rumor post, and Scorpio seemed like a done deal, but it was surprising that Microsoft announced it. I figured they would announce the Slim, which they did also, and let the Slim have a nice holiday season out there in the wild to, get some sales. Whereas I feel with the announcement of Scorpio, it's kind of like, well, why would I buy a Slim if you're going to be releasing a new, more powerful Xbox, like, the following year? Like, that's a lot of money, I think, for the average person. So
Yeah.
I feel like most people will just wait. Which is why I was like, did they confirmed it?
Yeah, right. By the way, everybody, good morning and welcome to the stream. It's good to see everybody. Yes, we are alive and well. Thank you. As for what Microsoft was doing, there was actually an image meme on Reddit, Reddit's front page. They were like, Microsoft's press conference. Here's the Xbox Slim. Now let us explain all the reasons you should not buy this thing. But somebody pointed out that they think that what Microsoft is actually doing is saying, here's the Xbox One Slim. This is for all of you people who are wanting kind of the more budget approach. And the high-end users can get all of the 4Ks and all of the VRs. Because when it comes down to it, I mean, they say that all the games are going to work on all of the systems across the board.
Like Sony.
So what it may come down to is just 4K. And if that's the case, well, by all accounts, 4K isn't actually that huge of a bump over 1080p.
No, and they say 4K support, but to be honest, I think most developers will probably not use 4K as a resolution. They will instead use the power for better frame rates, better effects, because when you bump up to 4K game-wise, then you have to also make sure that your assets are up to snuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he said 4K support, but I think it sounds like it's going to be like Sony and the Neo, which is it can support 4K, but I'm not seeing it. Especially since who has a 4K TV? Even though they're cheap, they're really cheap.
Well, the thing I found interesting was that they were broadly hinting at VR, but the Microsoft doesn't support any VR yet.
Right, but they have a partnership with Oculus, so expect a Xbox One Oculus version next year.
And people are claiming that HTC is beating out Oculus like right now, so maybe this is the boost that Oculus needs as well.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
It's actually shipping. You can buy a Vive now.
Well, the Vive is better.
Yes.
I mean, by most accounts. So it's kind of like it's more comfortable. Like I don't want to get into VR wars or whatever, but it's more comfortable. The controllers are better.
Yeah.
It's just more powerful in general. And so, I mean, it's more expensive though.
Yeah. So the Vive's on the high end, the Oculus is there in the middle, and then there's PlayStation VR.
But PlayStation VR is going to eat both their lunch.
It is.
It really is.
Totally is.
Well, we'll get to that. Games that stood out to you at Microsoft.
Forza Horizon 3.
Oh yeah, in the bush, going down to Australia.
Yes. And I actually got to play it last night.
Ooh. Jazz just felt a disturbance in the forest. I make this joke 2 days in a row, and it works.
So it's very much a continuation of what... so Forza Horizon 2 had nice streets, cities, and you could sort of tear through the wild. Then they added Storm Island, which was more off-road. This is a continuation of that with even more off-road tracks with your little dune buggy, but it's Horizon.
I mean, yeah, and Forza Horizon, to me, at this point, is sort of the spiritual successor to Burnout Paradise. I mean, not quite. It's not as insane. It's a lot more drivey drive.
Yeah, but it's
But I don't at this point. I don't really have anything else like it.
no, because
Well,
Criterion is just
Need for Speed is like DOA, or I don't know. It's just like it hasn't been good,
yeah. Well, yeah. Need for Speed is moving to next year,
right?
so
And not only that, like I hated the cops thing. I
okay.
know that's Need for Speed. I know that's Need for Speed, but it harshed my vibe, bro, because
We are hip kids.
yes,
We are
all of
hip.
the hip. But I would just want to drive around, right? And just enjoy myself like I did in Burnout Paradise. I would often just drive around and listen to music and enjoy the gorgeous scenery. Well, I couldn't do that with a freaking cop coming after me every 5 seconds. All right. And it was impossible to avoid them because you would be, just by virtue of the game design, you were breaking the law. And you would be like in the middle of a race. I'd be like, I'm doing really, oh God, here come the cops. Damn it. And then you like finish the race and the cops are chasing you back to your garage and they're really hard to avoid.
They are.
I didn't like Need for Speed, but I, Forza Horizon looks gorgeous.
It is.
I think I had Forza Horizon 2 and I wanted to play more of it, but I didn't really get a chance. I just remember the Ryan Seacrest kind of like presenter guy that I wanted to like kind of punch in the face.
He's still there. Well,
No,
a
not
different
that guy.
version. A different
But he's
version.
Australian.
Yes, this one's Australian, but
This is an Australian bro.
there is still a bro that is talking to you during the thing.
Whoa, driving cars, bro. Whoa.
And someone pointed out to me while I was playing it,
Mm-hmm.
who works at PC Geek Gamer, and he was saying, well, the best part is it's coming also to Windows 10, which means if you have a powerful enough rig, like I have a G-Sync monitor, that means I get to play Horizon in 60 frames per second with my beautiful G-Sync monitor, and that's going to be so exciting.
Indeed. Well, the game that most stood out to me is maybe a little unexpected. It's Sea of Thieves, which is the new
Yeah.
Rare game. And it reminds me of back in the day when the Star Trek MMO was still under development. And everybody was like, all we really want to do is to be able to work together as the crew of a starship. And apparently we'll be getting that game a little later. But I digress. What we got instead was everybody is a captain. Personally, I prefer that. But I can see the appeal of being like, you're the chief engineer and you're the security person, whatever. Well, that's kind of what we're getting with Sea of Thieves, right?
Yes.
You get a crew of people. They get to like sail around. Everybody has to work together to kind of make the ship work. Like somebody's steering it. People are like operating the cannons. People are getting drunk on grog.
The only problem that I have with Sea of Thieves, so it plays very well. That's another game I got.
Okay, so you got to play it.
briefly, but it requires a team, and at show floor, of course, you have a team because there's
course.
demo sessions, but the likelihood of me having 3 other friends for a ship,
Well, I mean, if you get grouped up with randos.
who wants to know?
No.
No, I don't want to do that with randos.
Well, this is what I'll say. Usually, if a game is good enough, I can get a group to play it with me.
Yeah.
And now that might not be the case with the average person,
Right.
but I think that in that respect, it could be pretty compelling to just be like, hey, everybody, let's play some Sea of Thieves. This could be a lot of fun. And if it has a robust enough community, you'll be able to find crews or whatever. I think, but yeah, I think you make a good point about having a hard time finding people that you actually want to play with. And if that's the case, then Rare would be really well served by making sure that there's really robust communication, like that doesn't involve talking over a mic. Definitely, or like super robust emote or pointer like system, so that you can point the randos to, you idiot, go and use the cannon. No, the
Yeah.
cannon.
Yeah, so a game like that lives and dies on who you're playing with.
Yes, exactly.
So I hope it's good. I'm glad Rare gets to come out and play now that the Kinect is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, it was certainly one of the most refreshing Rare things that I've seen in a long time. But Rare has become one of those companies that does kind of the weird, kooky games. Once upon a time, they used to be like the most at the very forefront of technology.
Yeah.
And it's strange how things have changed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Microsoft.
Oh. But
Yes.
let's see, what else was there?
Anything else from Microsoft? I mean, Scalebound.
Scalebound looked okay.
I mean, I'll withhold judgment. I think a lot of people were disappointed by the art.
Recore looked really good.
Recore looked like a trailer.
It did. It did. It was at the Xbox. It was an Xbox showcase.
Okay.
But I didn't get a chance to.
That's the MOBA, right?
No, Recore is the Inafune game.
Oh, the Inafune game.
Yes, it's with the lady and the robots. And
I just assume everything's a MOBA at this point. I mean, because it kind of is.
Yeah, well, speaking of, there was Halo Wars, which isn't a MOBA, but it is an RTS.
Yes, that's true. New faction. Yeah. I think I'm going to go see Halo Wars 2 today.
Okay, so you.
It's either today or tomorrow, so I will give a full report once I've seen it.
And at the Microsoft showcase thing, I did get to play Bloodstained, and I can tell you all, it is good. It's good. Don't worry.
Kuni Nino says Gears of War looks great.
Gears of War did look great. I'm not a Gears. I'm not a Gears.
No
guy.
comment.
After Gears 1, I have not touched the series.
As bearded Marcus Phoenix in a castle. Yeah. Look, people have this emotional attachment to Gears of War. I remember, like, when Gears of War 3 ended, people were like, oh, the brothers are gonna die together as brothers. Even that girl, bro, she's gonna die too.
And then Judgment came out, and everyone was so happy, right?
But except not.
No.
Because it just repurposed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no one was happy about Judgment.
I think Gears of War 4 might be fine. I think its protagonist looks pretty dumb. He looks like a much derpier Marcus Phoenix. So we'll see. I've never been a Gears person myself, so I think we should probably move on before I say something I'm going to regret.
Indeed. So that was Microsoft. That was pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
Dead Rising was a trailer. I don't know if that's even playable at the show.
Might be.
I saw a trailer at the showcase thing.
Overall thoughts on Microsoft? You're making a face. That was a face that you were just making.
It was one of those things where it was good at the time, and then it was surpassed. So, good job, Microsoft. But Sony took their lunch money.
Well, they do that every year.
So Sony took their lunch money and they made it look easy.
I don't know if their marquee games are Gears and what, Dead Rising 4. That's coming out this year, right?
Yes.
And they had a few others. I don't know. They're still going in weird directions with when they're like Xbox Play Anywhere and like the Windows 10 integration.
Yeah, and they've definitely given up on the like trying to keep games over on the Xbox One only. They're like, please play it on PC, even though it's going to be a unified Windows platform.
I mean, I like the idea of being able to like all games being a Windows 10 and Xbox thing. Because, well, great. I also play on my PC, and there are times when I prefer to play on my PC.
And Forza is cross-buy.
On the other hand, I might have to buy it through that stupid Xbox store on PC.
No, and that is the problem. It's on PC, but again, it's a unified Windows platform, so all of these games will have to be installed through the Xbox store, which is spotty at best.
At best. Oh, and they said, we're adding the intelligence of Cortana to Xbox One, and I was like, that's not a good idea.
No.
You mean that feature that I turned off?
Oh, I still have mine on. I never use it. It's right there. I'm Cortana. Ask me anything.
You got... Wait, you have a... Is that a Mac? Oh, no, that's not a Mac.
No. I have a Mac but it's actually an HP.
Whoa, you're totally messing with me. All right, so let's moving on. Yes. Ubisoft, that thing that you care about.
Oh, see, I'm lost and alone because I'm the open world guy. So Ubisoft is like my bread and butter.
Yes.
Ubisoft had Watch Dogs 2, which I've already played. Much better than the first Watch Dogs.
Okay,
which
how is it better?
For one, he can actually move and parkour and get around. 2, hacking is much, much improved. Honestly, the weird thing is it felt like a better Watch Dogs, but it also felt like it was closer to GTA.
Okay.
Like that weird city tourism aspect.
Yeah.
Just going around San Francisco and seeing semi-familiar places. I don't live there, but I've been there a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And also, they're like, I was playing the game, and then there was a shop with clothes, and you can dress your guy up. And I was like, wow, this really feels GTA-ish. Which is fine, because it's not like we're getting another GTA anytime soon.
No. Oh God, no Red Dead Redemption at this show.
No Red Dead Redemption 2 or remake announced.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just did their own stream, or if it was announced separately, or if it got its own event.
Yeah, no, I mean,
They're too big for E3.
It's Rockstar. It's gonna be okay.
Rockstar does whatever they want.
It's gonna be okay.
Watch Dogs,
Watch
really
Dogs.
quickly. So when that came out, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, this looks awesome, next gen thing, super
Right.
creative idea." And then afterward, like everybody seems super down on it. Like Cliff Notes version, why is that?
I mean, it was fun, but there was a feeling that it was going to be more. I enjoyed it, but it was definitely like, here's the promise, and what we're delivering is back here.
So the promise is in like the hacking ended up being way too limited.
Yeah,
Not
no, it was
enough
very
control
quick.
over the world.
And that's very expanded now. There's still quick hack, so hacking is on the L1 button. I was playing it on PS4, but you can also hold down the L1 button, and it gives you multiple hacking
Okay.
options. They've improved the UI. Aiden Pierce was a horrible, horrible character who caused all of the problems in his life, so I did not care about his revenge. Marcus looks like a more interesting character to me, at least. So yeah, Watch Dogs 2 was good.
Okay.
Ghost Recon Wildlands
Oh yeah, that looks kind of interesting.
I enjoyed, but I have the same problem as Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
Which is when I play it at shows, I'm playing with 3 other people that's set up for me, and they are journalists or developers. So of course it goes off pretty well. Like my demo went smoothly, but I don't know what's going to happen with the randos.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, right? Overwatch has managed it fairly well,
Yeah, but it feels.
but Overwatch is special.
Yeah, Overwatch is special. I don't see Ghost Recon, and you're always with that team, so it's going to be AI. But they haven't shown what the AI does. Like they haven't shown AI modes for the game yet,
Okay.
so it's a big question mark to me.
Big question mark.
Big question mark. And then otherwise, Ubisoft had South Park. Everyone
It's
was
back.
really excited. Yay!
Yeah,
South
on
Park.
PS4.
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, the first one was good but short,
Right.
like 10 hours. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like a 10-hour South Park movie if you're really into South Park.
Right. Expanded combat looked good. And then probably if you were following me on Twitter, which you should, during the
send.
show, I pretty much freaked out when Ubisoft announced Steep.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
is-
Which I'm told is dope.
I haven't gotten to play it yet, but it looks so dope. I am a big SSX fan. I enjoy winter snow sports, but I will not do them with my physical body because I care about myself.
Yes, you want your knees.
Yes, so games like SSX allow me to live vicariously through a digital avatar, and SSX is probably not getting a sequel anytime soon.
No, I think it seems to be dead and buried underneath its extreme avalanche.
Yeah, so
Which is a shame because the previous SSX was actually pretty good.
yeah. No,
I mean, like, it weirdly seemed to get ignored after a little bit, but I really enjoyed it.
yeah, I don't think it sold well, but I thought it was a good game.
I want, like, SSX remastered.
Yeah. So Steep looks like SSX. You got snowboarding, skiing, parachuting, and wingsuit gliding, and probably the most violent and unsettling moment of the conference happened in Steep when they were in a wingsuit race and a guy just like hit a rock. And I was just like, oh Lord,
Oh
oh my
God.
God.
Oh jeez.
But no, Steep looks great. I'm looking forward to playing it on my shelf.
I actually agree with you. I am looking forward to Steep as well
Yeah.
because God knows we need more snowboarding games. And as a sports gaming fan, it's really good to have those kinds of games back because SSX was like a staple a couple of generations ago, and it just seems to have gone away.
Back when EA Big was all of the street games.
Yep. So EA like has really dropped the ball. So it's about time that Ubisoft go out and pick it up. Now we need a good tennis game.
Oh God, there's no tennis game.
Not really, no.
We used to have like a lot of different
used to.
sports games.
I mean, between virtual tennis, yeah, we used to have a much more diverse array of sports games. I kind of miss it.
Yeah, yeah. So that was Ubisoft.
Oh no!
Wait.
Eh,
Uh,
eh.
uh, uh,
You're forgetting one game.
okay.
Star Trek. Hello.
Oh. No, I wasn't forgetting that. So that was Ubisoft. No.
I actually am not that excited about it. There's an article I wrote on this site.
It might be good, but it's not something that I would buy and play
Right.
on a
It
regular...
reminds me of Artemis. Did you ever play Artemis?
No.
So I'm a nerd, as you may have heard.
Yes, I have heard that.
I got together with like 4 friends a while ago, and the way Artemis works is that you can use like computers, tablets, phones, whatever.
Okay.
And that's your screen. And somebody plays as a tactical officer, somebody's like the sensors person, somebody is the engineer, and somebody's the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're giving orders, and everybody has to work in concert. And like you can have the TV as your view screen.
Okay.
And you have to give it's kind of a tactics game, and you
Okay.
have to like move around and command your starship to bring cargo back and forth, whatever, fight enemies. It's fun, and you have to do everything at just the right time, or else you won't be able to move, or you know things like that.
Okay.
It was a great afternoon. I didn't really feel like playing it again after that because it was a novelty. It was something I got together with my friends to do.
I think Bridge Crew and LeVar Burton, bless his heart, looked really enthusiastic.
Oh, he
about
was
it.
really into it.
Like genuinely enthusiastic about it, and it was great because he had reading Rainbow voice. So it was just like,
oh, Jordy.
like I do want to join you, LeVar Burton, but I won't get to play with you.
I think the thing is that it's a 4-player co-op game that requires 4 headsets.
Right.
And I just don't see a situation where I'm going to have 4 people together with 4 headsets. Maybe in the near future. I mean, who knows? Maybe a headset will become like just a fixture
Right.
in every household. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll just bring over my headset and it's no big. But I would actually much rather... Like, I'm in on Star Trek VR. Mm-hmm. I'm in on the idea of being able to put on a headset and command a starship.
Okay.
Alone. In my basement. Sad.
By myself.
By myself. And I can tell all of my imaginary, like, Star Trek bridge crew friends about how I'm the captain now.
But don't you already do that with Star Trek Online?
I mean, yes.
But not in VR.
But not in VR.
Not in VR.
I'm not the captain. Like, my avatar's the captain. Now I get to be the captain. Listen to me. I'm the captain now.
Well played.
Thank you.
Played.
Thank you. And with that, I think we should move on to Sony. Oh,
yes.
Before that, though, Ubisoft. What did you think, like, overall?
I mean, I like Ubisoft stuff, so I was like...
So you're like, yes, Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs,
Steep.
Ghost Recon, and then Steep was just like, oh my god.
But it's like 2 hours long. Oh my god, Ubisoft. Please shorten your conferences.
Yes, and that was the problem. Well, there was also Just Dance. And
Just Dance, yes.
which was announced for the Nintendo NX. Okay, so Ubisoft, yes, no, it was very long. I was there, and it was very long. And I think like Microsoft, it was outdone by the following conference.
Sony.
That Sony knew exactly what we wanted, and all we wanted was people not talking and games.
It wasn't that long, which is
No, Sony was an hour and a half.
no, it was less than that. It was like hour and 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it was hour and 15. It was actually less than the Microsoft conference, yet felt like it had more. So the first thing I'm going to say, I found it really interesting that Twitter seemed pumped. Like all the journalists were like basically high-fiving over how awesome the PlayStation conference was. Mm-hmm. All of our commenters and community seem really let down. Is it because? And I think our community, they're special, and we love you, community, and thank you so much for reading our stuff. But I think there was a real letdown among people who aren't into the traditional AAA set, who are like, "But where's the Japanese stuff?
Yes,
where's Vita? I mean, can I get my Final Fantasy VII remake update?
No.
Can I get like something new and interesting, please? Where's Gravity Rush 2? And I think that's a legitimate thing to ask, especially after last year when like Japanese games were so forward facing. Now that's not to say Japan was totally absent.
Right.
And we'll get to that in a second.
So the problem is, and I was telling Kat this before, is they're in a sort of weird gulf where there is no new. Really, we know all of the JRPGs and stuff that are coming already. Mm-hmm. We know Star Ocean is coming this year. We have Persona 5 that's coming February. Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy VII Remake is not done. And FF12, the Zodiac Age, is not really a new...
That's not something that you're going to show at the press conference front and center.
Yeah, so I think they ended up in a gulf where there was really nothing that they could show.
Yeah.
For that.
Right, and that's fine. They could have shown Persona 5. I think a lot of people would have been happy if Persona 5 had been front and center, because everybody's so freaking pumped for Persona 5. And to this point, we've mostly gotten just trailers, right? I mean, the trailers have been very exciting trailers. Mm-hmm. But people are ready for an extended look. But not only that, they want Persona 5 to maybe get the attention that it deserves. Because I feel like among mainstream gamers, it's still that weird RPG that everybody talks about. But whenever I watch the trailer, what the heck is going on? This is so anime.
It is so anime.
But that's great.
It's super anime.
Super anime.
And I'm down with that.
I'm totally down with that. But let's talk about the stuff that was actually shown. So it led off with the game that I thought actually would be announced last year, God of War 4, or the new God of War.
It's just God of War.
God of War, the reboot.
Yes.
And Kratos is a dad now.
Kratos' dad. It's God of War via the Last of Us, which was interesting because it has Kratos, and it has the sort of cinematic boss finishing kills. But to me, especially with like the behind the back camera, it didn't really feel like God of War.
No.
God of War is like a super here's you and you're fighting across the thing, almost like an evolution of like Final Fight and
or Dante, or no, it's almost like Devil May Cry.
Right.
It was very Devil May Cry, except not as technical, much more cinematic, not as technical. You could do lots of like really awesome things in God of War that required mostly just hammering the buttons.
Yeah. Whereas this was not that.
No. And I'm not surprised they're going in that direction, because I think that franchise really needed a refresh. Mm-hmm. And for God's sake, what do you do after God of War 3? I mean, all of the Greek gods are dead. Spoiler alert. So now we got a new pantheon. We get to kill some more gods, this time the Norse gods.
Yes. Although
I'm coming for you, Odin.
Although we're not just killing them, we're killing them while we have a beard and teaching our son
to kill gods. Well, son, it's the family business.
Yes.
So.
And will Mom appear? Who knows?
Kratos' mom.
Yes.
Well, let's get into God of War lore. No, Kratos, like, his backstory is that he had a wife and child, and they died brutally.
Yeah. And someone pointed out, I have a feeling that the new God of War will be about the kid and not Kratos. I would not be surprised.
I actually think that's probably the case.
Yeah.
The thing with Kratos is that he's a reprehensible character, and I hate him. I mean, he is. He's just a giant dick through all three of those games. And here's the thing: God of War actually had a pretty complete Kratos arc,
Yes.
which really bothered me. Where he like substantially regressed going into God of War 2.
Yeah.
He was freaking redeemed at the end of God of War.
Yeah, Kratos has the same problem that I had with Aiden Pierce. It's like, you are the architect of all of your own issues.
Yes. Yes, exactly. He was just like, I'm rampaging around being a jerk. And Athena's like, you can't do that. I'm taking your powers away. He's like, how dare you? Now I will kill all of you.
Yeah.
And you're like, what, Kratos? Come on.
It's like, no, dude, you got your redemption. It's done. It's done.
Yes, exactly.
But the sequels, that's the way it has to work.
And that's the way it has to work.
And then, so after God of War, which the orchestra, by the way, was amazing.
Oh, yeah, it looked amazing. Yeah, I was watching the stream. He was actually at the show,
Yes.
right? Yes. Oh, I don't doubt it. Nintendo had an orchestra a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was their second to last press conference, maybe, before they went to the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
But they played a Zelda They played the Zelda suite with the orchestra, and that actually gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, not a lot of people probably realize is that not just for God of War in the beginning, a number of the songs with the trailers were actually played by the orchestra.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
So, it was weird. It was a weird experience.
But that's pretty awesome. So we're actually running out of time. We only got about 7 minutes before the Zelda stream kicks off. So let's get through
Lightning
this quick.
round. Days Gone is The Last of Us, but not The Last of Us. And it's got zombies, a ton of zombies. But the interesting thing is, with a ton of zombies, is that most games, combat is you kill zombies. But this, it definitely seems like there are too many zombies. So combat is really like a, hey, let's delay until I can find a way out. Which could be interesting.
Here's an idea. Zombies, no more zombies. Is that okay? No. Are we okay with this?
No, zombies.
Are we good?
Zombies.
Are we good with the zombies? It's been 15 years.
Okay, but apparently we're good with the zombies.
We're good.
No. So
we're all good.
After Days Gone was
Last Guardian.
The Last Guardian, which has a release date.
Yeah. I will play it.
You will play it, and either the boy or the cat dog thing will die. Bets on which one?
Both.
Both? No. It has to be super sad. One has to die, leaving the other to carry on.
I hope they both survive, just so everybody can go, what?
Then there was Resident Evil.
Yes, Resident Evil 7, which seems to have drawn very mixed reactions. On Twitter, people are like, wow, that was so scary. I'm so all in on Resident Evil now. That looks like true horror. And all the Resident Evil fans were like...
So I have played the VR version of Resident Evil 7, and I can tell you straight up 100% it is not a Resident Evil game.
What is it?
The Resident Evil series from 1 to 6, it is not like that.
So they rebooted it. It's different.
It is a reboot, and it feels like Capcom's answer to PT. At least in the version I'm playing, you are very much a dude. The idea is that you are part of a ghost hunting show. You're going into this house, and then something went wrong, and you are trapped there. But you don't have any guns. There's no weapons. You're not attacking. It does have sort of a Resident Evil feel and like items. Like there's a fuse box. You click on it. It's like a fuse is missing. Very pat Resident Evil style. But it definitely feels like PT.
One of the commenters mentioning that people said the same thing about Resident Evil 4. Which is a fair comment, because Resident Evil 4 was very different and didn't even have zombies and parasites.
That's true. Resident Evil, for me, Roto asks, a Resident Evil, at least for me, tends to differentiate itself in the fact that I can defend myself against the horrors out there. That was the survival horror part.
Well,
This,
what differentiated Resident Evil for me was that it was basically anime. I mean, it was. It totally was. It was very anime, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it was good. You had that very Japanese vibe, especially when Wesker was being all like super powered and stuff.
yeah. Whereas this is very much a horror experience, but you are powerless and you are walking through what is essentially, hey, we're going to show you something scary. Great in VR, and I enjoyed it. I think it would probably do better if they called it like Resident Evil subtitle. But as the Resident Evil, I think expectation-wise, it may burn them. So it's good, but I think people will expect something else from Resident Evil.
Speaking of VR, really quickly, PlayStation VR had a bunch of stuff. Final Fantasy 15 VR for some reason.
Yes, Final Fantasy, you play as Prompto. Okay.
Okay.
Batman VR, which is essentially also, I saw that. Didn't get to
Now you
test.
can get so sick in VR, flying around.
Well, it's not. It's just mini games.
Oh, okay. Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's not like a
The
full-
X-Wing VR demo. Make this a game, people. Make it a game. Oh my god, just make it a game. I will buy your stupid headset if you just make it a game. That's all.
I mean, isn't that enough for you? Just a
No.
small little.
No, give me
You want
all
you
of
want
the
a
X-Wing.
full X-wing versus
all
TIE
of the
fighter
X-Wing. Yep. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
in
Ah,
VR.
be still my heart. Be still my heart. Spider-Man. That's not in VR.
Spider-Man,
By Insomniac.
which was really weird because everyone mentally thought it said Insomniac, but everyone thought Sucker Punch,
Yeah.
like the infamous guys.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's Insomniac,
Hmm.
and it looks interesting. And I thought that it might be vaguely related to the movie Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is 2017.
I think so, yeah.
So I figured it's probably going to come out around there, but no, apparently it is its own thing.
Its own thing. So somebody was commenting, we haven't had a good Spider-Man game. I'm like, Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 was pretty darn good, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Spider-Man actually has a better gaming history than a lot of superheroes, though not as good as Batman, obviously.
Better than Superman.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Spider-Man is just such an obvious like video game subject, just because he works so well in an open world context. Like being able to move around in the way that he does, like, is so much fun in a video game context.
Yeah.
So, I think this game's going to be good.
Yeah. So PSVR, very comfortable, very fun. But
Best VR headset. Really quickly, overall thoughts on Sony?
Sony killed it, at least because they didn't talk. They just showed us
Game.
games.
They showed games I would buy.
Yeah.
All right. And really quickly, one prediction for the new Zelda trailer that's coming up.
According to the Amazon image, you will climb mountains.
Ooh.
Mountain climbing.
I've heard that there may be female Link and Black Link, customizable Link.
Black Link?
Yeah. Yes, right. All right, everybody. We're going to leave you to the Nintendo stream. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow for more streaming from us to you. Keep an eye on US Gamer. Follow all of our stuff. We're going to head to the show floor at noon when it opens to take all of the appointments and start playing all of the games. This is the fun part.
And then we will write about all of the things.
Yes, so keep an eye on the site. Lots of content going up. Thanks for following us. We've had a great time as always. And from us to you and US Gamer, this has been Kat Bailey, and that's been Mike Williams. And we'll see you again. Have fun watching Nintendo. Go, go, go.
Later.